I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the post-match reaction to the Manchester United Crystal Palace game. Apologies for not being on the pre-match pod. Thank you to Greg for filling in. And look, guys, there might be some weeks where it's a bit more of me, a bit more of Greg. Obviously, we're gonna definitely try to stick to the format of he does his segment, I do mine. To be honest with all of you listening, your boy partied a little too hard Friday night. So Saturday was a rough day. And, yeah, come Sunday, I just kind of forgot. I'll be completely honest with you. So thank you to Greg for filling in the pre-match pod. But, happy days, people. Happy days. We are now, 7 games, 6 wins, and 1 draw. I mean, insane. Absolute dreamland right now. And, I think the big sign that should really concern opposition fans is I actually don't think we've been that great these past 3 weeks. I don't think we were great in the West Ham game. I thought we were very sloppy in the Everton game, and I thought for the first 30 minutes yesterday, I thought we looked kind of awful. But I think that is what should concern people, is that we are now reaching a stage with this team where even when we're not at our best, we can still get results. And that should be majorly concerning and something that should definitely strike fear in opposition fans. Look, I thought the City game, we were at our absolute best. Same thing against Tottenham. Arsenal was a different kind of game. But, I thought the last few weeks we've seen a bit more fatigue. And, we've been found out a bit more, but we are finding a way. And that's what champions do. You find a way. Look, even the greatest teams of all time, you've got the 08-09 Barca team, the 99 treble team, the Invincibles of 04, even those great teams that we put in the pantheon of legendary football teams, they had weeks like this. It's a long season. The Premier League season is 38 games, 38 weeks. There's going to be a few weeks where you wobble a bit, but if you can still win while you wobble, then you are in for a lot of good things coming your way. Bruno Fernandes, once again, the absolute difference maker. I'm going to restate my point I made a pod or two ago. I mean, God, can you imagine if he was just played in that freaking role since August? How many assists would he be on now? Who the hell knows? I can't even imagine. But 13 assists now for Bruno in the league. I believe he has now created more than 86 chances this entire season. I think I saw a stat like the next closest person in chances created is in the maybe 60 range. I mean, he is ahead by more than 20. Benjamin Sesko again, the difference maker. I mean, the confidence that this kid exudes. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I mean, he does not seem. I've mentioned this before. He just does not seem fazed by the Premier League. He just seems so confident right now, and it's so exciting to see a player with that level of confidence. We've not had that from a striker in so long. I'm sorry, but Højlund would have crumbled under this pressure. I know he started the other day, but I mean, prior to that, being expected to start 4 games in a row and score in all those games. I mean, we wouldn't have seen that from a Højlund. We wouldn't see that from a Martial. I mean, this kid, again, I'll make the same point I made for Bruno. Imagine if Sesko had Carrick as manager back in September. I mean, hell, he's on 8 goals right now with 10 to go. And, who knows? Maybe this kid could get 15, 16. I mean, I don't know if he'll get 20, but I mean, maybe he could push it. And who knows? Who the heck knows? There's a lot of season left. We still got 2 months. But yeah, I mean, who knows what numbers this kid could have if he had Carrick in his corner from day one. But he is looking like a future legend right now, and long may it continue. He just seems to have a really great attitude, and yeah, I love the kid to bits, and made this current run of form continue for a very, very long time. The ball in from Bruno too. I mean, this guy's vision. I mean, I don't think we've seen somebody cross the ball like that for this team since David Beckham. And I know that's a wild shout, but I mean, that's how good Bruno is. 100 plus goals and 100 plus assists now. in the league for Manchester United. The third player to do that in 40 years. Think of all the players we've had at United over the last 40 years. Scholes, Butt, Giggs, Ferdinand. That kind of a dumb stat to compare to a defender, but you get my point. Rooney, Ronaldo. Keane. Think of all the great players over the last 40 years. I'm not even going back to, obviously the 70s. There's not many to shout from that era because we were shit back then. But only the third player in 40 years to register 100-plus goals and assists for United. I mean, if you still argue whether or not Bruno Fernandes is a United legend, you can just go away. Go away. The numbers are there. The stats are there. And, God, I just pray that this man can leave this club winning a Premier League title. I know it's asking for a lot, and I'm probably getting my hopes up, but he deserves it because what he does for this team is just unbelievable. The penalty, I think we can all agree, maybe a bit of a gray area. I mean, I don't know. I'm in the middle here. I feel like with VAR now, I'm constantly kind of questioning what even is a penalty anymore. But hey, the amount of decisions that should have gone our way and don't, so I will gladly take it. I don't think we played well. I thought the first 30 minutes, Crystal Palace looked really, really good. And when that first goal went in, after about the 20-minute mark, I was starting to get very nervous. Again, I thought Yoro again today, he grew into the game. But again, a bit of a sloppy start from him. Didn't like what I saw early on, but he grew into the game. So, and again, too, I've made this point with Euro before, but it's a young guy. So I still feel like, the Premier League does add an extra level of pressure for a kid that young. But he grew into the game. So he did kind of correct his faults. Luke Shaw, again, are we now going to have to start questioning Luke Shaw's fitness? I mean, look, he's been great the entire year as far as his fitness goes. So, I will give him a bit of a pass for yesterday. But I mean, having to come off that early was a little concerning. And again, with I've made this point a million times before, and I'll make it a million times over. The lack of our squad depth really does concern me. And we haven't looked as good these last few weeks. So while listen, you take the 3 points and you move on, and I totally agree. I'm not going to complain about what we're doing right now. I'm in dreamland. But, we're getting down to crunch time. We've got a few tough results coming up. Newcastle away. We've got Chelsea in a few weeks' time. Still have to play Liverpool again. So Leeds. So a lot of tough fixtures in the next month or two. So this thinning squad does concern me. These next 2 months are really crucial. Look, we've luckily put some distance between us and Chelsea. 6-point gap now thanks to Arsenal's 2-1 win. But Liverpool. That 5-2 win against West Ham really made me nervous. They are starting to slowly look like their old selves. We currently sit on 51 points, them on 48 in fifth. We are now ahead of Aston Villa on goal difference, level on 51 points. But they play Wolves next. So, if they can score, a certain amount of goals in that game, they'll leapfrog us. So Liverpool are knocking at the door, and it makes me quite nervous. And their squad's deeper than ours. And and I don't know. I kind of have that worry in the back of my head of, will their experience kind of outdo us these last 2 months of the season? So we will have to wait and see. If somebody could beat them soon, that'd be great because they are making me very nervous. Chelsea, I feel like, are falling away. I feel like that gap's big enough now where I feel pretty comfortable. Liverpool are definitely on the hunt, and not enjoying that. But listen, guys, I'm really, really happy with today. Again, you're not always going to be at your best, but if you can find a way to get the 3 points, what else matters? I will catch you guys for the pre-match pod for not West Ham, for Newcastle. A game that I think will be very, very, very tough. Newcastle now sitting outside the top 10, so a lot to prove. St. James's Park is never an easy place to go, so we will have to see how that shapes out. All right, guys, I'll catch you soon. Bye.
How you doing? Good? Sheshko! Come on! Man, I love that guy. He has been bailing us out left and right. But honestly, I don't even know yesterday I wouldn't even say it was a bailout just because Carrick had him. He had him starting. He had him in his comfortable position, and I think, honestly, for me, when I look at Šeško's performance yesterday, I think having him starting, I would probably prefer, and my only reason why is the constant threat effect of it, right? I think Mbeumo's great. I just think at striker, having like a big body there, someone that's pretty lethal for set pieces and corners and whatnot with that aerial threat, is just, it's irreplaceable. And I think having the pace of Mbeumo, not that Ahmad's not fast, not he doesn't have pace, but having that pace of Mbeumo and Cunha, I think that's solidified of the front three we need to go for, or have in the future to start our matches. But yeah, I agree with Maddie wholeheartedly, pretty much on every point he was talking about. For me, more so, the win kind of just symbolized comfort and relaxation and kind of a calm, cool, collected type situation. And I think when you look at Carrick's campaign now, he's really starting to build a resume. He's really starting to build something that you can look at and you can say, okay, he has gone to the bigger teams. He's had a tough schedule back-to-back. He's won on the road. He's won at home. He's been able to slow down a game and just hold off attacks. He's been able to keep a clean sheet. He's been able to come from behind. And he needs to do just that, and the team is able to do that under his management. So, for me, I think exactly how he's running this team is how he needs to keep going forward. And we'll talk about Newcastle in the build-up for that. But for me, honestly, I think that was a much-needed game that kind of crossed off the list, similar to the Everton game where we had 90 minutes where we didn't concede a goal, and we had it where there were times of pressure, but at the end of the day, we got the job done. And I think right now, looking at that game, the security is starting to settle in, which is something that, as a United fan, for at least the last couple of years of being a fan, not my whole life, but in terms of just the last couple of years of being a fan, that is not something that you could say has always been present, that has really been present much, of just having that buildup of confidence and that security of like knowing that the team that he's putting out is a team that you can trust. And I think for the first time having that since maybe, a little bit after the FA Cup win, but honestly, not even that much really. And then maybe after the third place finish, but a couple years back. But I don't know. I feel like there was still so much player power and there was dead wood to a point where I was still not secure, I guess, is pretty much, it's the only word I could think of. Just not secure in kind of who we have at the wheel, who we have on the team, what kind of lineups we're putting out. Right now, I guess it's only an issue of depth, especially when you look at that game. I was looking at the bench, and after he made the subs he did, I was kind of like, okay, Xerxes, sure. I came on, and I had no issues with that. When he made the sub for Šeško, and when he made the sub for, I believe it was, defense. Shaw was hurt, I think. Or maybe that was 2 games ago. I think it was last game. I think the depth is going to catch up with us, and I think that's when we start to do the United thing. We start to pull a little bit more from that youth academy, and I think that's where we start to pull, boys that can come up and they can at least get, play against the lower teams in the Prem and at least get some time on the ball and, time on the pitch. But also say I'm incredibly happy with the win. I'm feeling a sense of security and confirmation on Šeško. That's it. I look at Gyökeres and I'm just like, oh, thank God. We have the youth in Šeško. We have the physicality in Šeško. I'd say Gyökeres is bulkier, but I don't care. Šeško can grow into his body. He can grow into the maturity of his body and the pace of that kid. Oh my gosh, his jumping, the strength, his shot. I don't. Not once have I looked back at Gyökeres and been like, yeah, that's who we should have gotten. This whole campaign in the start of 2026 has been confirmation of Šeško. And I just love to see that as a United fan where a transfer is, bearing some fruit, especially with Laumans and Mbeumo, Cunha. If there's one thing Ineos we can look back and tip our hat to, it has to be the transfers from this summer so far. So that's my reaction. I'm absolutely thrilled. If we could roll that into the Newcastle match, that would just be awesome. And then, not that I really necessarily want to. I think he's a good dude, but then if we get 3 on the bounce, man, then we start having the chat of Frank United Strand cutting his hair again. Oh man, I think the last match is Bournemouth, which Bournemouth away. The next match after Newcastle, I believe, is Villa at home. Villa at home, even though they're higher up in the table, I have confidence with that match. I don't know why. Maybe it was last year. At the end of the season, I'm not sure, but I don't know. I could just see the same situation. The bloke is on his 5th game, 4th win, and he goes up, and we're going away to Bournemouth, and we just can't get the result that we want. But I can't even think about that now. Let's just get that 3rd win next. But gonna enjoy this win for sure, and follow for more. Thanks.